a question.
Oh, hey, Ryan Reynolds.
Hi.
Hey. Ryan Reynolds, how's it going?
Great. Why? What have you heard?
I just want to be clear that you should not be the intimacy coordinator. You should definitely hire intimacy coordinators, which we did have. Thank goodness.
You were teaching Justin how to pull you in.
Where have you seen this?
Justin Baldoni has just dropped a major bombshell on Blake Lively, claiming that she tried to bribe him into dropping his lawsuit because she realized the case was turning against her. Over the past few weeks, Blake and her husband, Ryan Reynolds, have reportedly been using their influence to try to discredit Justin and manipulate public opinion in their favor. However, new details have surfaced revealing that Blake not only leveraged her power to have Justin removed from his own movie and take over the director's role, but she also allegedly offered him $10 million to drop the lawsuit against her and Ryan. Fans are now left wondering what Blake's true intentions are and what Justin's team has to say about all of this. Let's dive in and find out.
Be more and more evidence that she wasn't quite telling the truth, and that is also a horrendous thing, absolutely horrendous. And is she really that arrogant that she thought she could get away with this? I've talked to a few people about this, and they really are of the belief that the money and the power that her and Ryan Reynolds have has probably made them a little bit deluded in thinking that they could bully their way through this.
Justin Baldoni has reportedly been keeping a low profile ever since his legal battle with Blake Lively began. He was recently spotted enjoying a quiet family vacation in Hawaii on Saturday, February 15th, where he was seen holding hands with his kids, 9-year-old Maya and 7-year-old Maxwell, as he and his wife, Emily, went out for a family lunch. Sources suggest that Justin has been staying out of the spotlight to avoid drawing negative attention to himself or his family amid the ongoing legal drama. On the other hand, Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds have been all over the media, rubbing elbows with Hollywood's elite at red carpet events and making headlines with their light-hearted jokes during live broadcasts. They recently became the talk of the town after attending Saturday Night Live's 50th anniversary special, where they seemed to be having a blast. However, some people felt they were pushing it a bit too far when Ryan made a joke about their current legal issues with Justin, which raised a few eyebrows.
Question.
Oh, hey, Ryan Reynolds.
Hi.
Hey. Ryan Reynolds, how's it going?
Great. Why? What have you heard?
In her lawsuit against Justin Baldoni, Blake Lively claims to be suffering from severe emotional distress due to Justin's actions while they were on set together. She also alleges that Justin launched a smear campaign against her, which has led to her becoming somewhat of an outcast in elite circles. However, her recent appearance on Saturday Night Live seems to contradict this narrative, as she appeared to be enjoying herself with no signs of the serious backlash she's claiming. Sure, there has been some online criticism, but online chatter doesn't always reflect real-world consequences, and in Blake's case, it doesn't appear to have had much impact. What caused more controversy was Ryan Reynolds' recent joke about the legal issues during an SNL appearance. Many people found it insensitive, feeling he was making light of a very serious situation. This case could have life-altering consequences for everyone involved, and many think Ryan's attempt at humor downplays the gravity of the situation. But here's where it gets even more complicated. Justin Baldoni's legal team is reportedly not letting Ryan and Blake off easy. An insider revealed that Justin's team plans to use Ryan's joke as part of his defense, arguing that while Blake and Ryan make light of the situation, Justin is taking the lawsuit seriously and not turning it into a public spectacle. Hollywood insiders also think Blake and Ryan's attendance at the SNL 50th anniversary event was in poor taste, as it contradicted Blake's claims of emotional distress. Some feel that while Blake and Ryan are free to continue living their lives, appearing cheerful and mingling with Hollywood's elite while claiming to be emotionally wrecked is a bad look, and it gets even messier. According to court filings, Justin dropped a bombshell exposing Blake for allegedly offering him $10 million to drop the lawsuit. This isn't just a settlement offer. Sources claim it was hush money to prevent Justin from revealing damaging evidence against her. Allegedly, Justin has evidence that Blake fabricated multiple HR complaints, which were supposedly filed against him by actresses on set, accusing him of inappropriate behavior. Some of the complaints include shocking claims, such as Justin allegedly making inappropriate comments to an actress and pressuring others into uncomfortable situations. However, some people believe these so-called complaints are fabricated by Blake and Ryan to further damage Justin's reputation. The redactions of dates and names in the complaints raise questions, especially since the complaint's timeline doesn't align with Blake's initial lawsuit, where she claimed to have reported the alleged behavior to Sony, only for them to direct her to another studio. Critics point out that if these HR complaints were genuine, Blake would have included them in her original lawsuit to strengthen her case. Instead, they surfaced after the backlash, which many see as suspicious. This situation is becoming increasingly convoluted, with allegations, counterclaims, and public relations stunts making it difficult to know what's truly happening behind the scenes.
It was posted in August of last year. Blake Lively went to Sony Studios and said, if you don't go for my cut of this movie, my version of this movie, I will go out in the New York Times and accuse Justin Baldoni of harassment. And as we know, that is what happened at a later point. But if this is true, that she threatened Sony back then to go to the New York Times and accuse Justin Baldoni of these things, that is pretty.
According to sources, Blake Lively is reportedly scrambling to find anything that could tarnish Justin Baldoni's reputation or make him back down from the lawsuit, as she knows that if the case goes to trial, she likely won't come out on top. Since the drama began, Blake has been making a series of questionable decisions, many of which seem to have backfired. For instance, she allegedly bullied Justin into letting her make constant changes to the movie script, and when he didn't agree with her edits, she resorted to calling in reinforcements, her husband, Ryan Reynolds, and her best friend, Taylor Swift. Despite all of this, Justin was the one who ended up apologizing to her and reassuring her that her input was valued, even when his own ideas were disregarded.
How that made you feel, I just want to say thank you for sharing that with me. That takes a lot of trust and vulnerability, and I feel really grateful that you feel safe enough to tell me that that's how you feel and share that with me. And I'm really sorry. I f***ed up. That is a fail on my part. One thing you should know about me is I will admit and apologize when I fail. I am far from perfect. I'm a very flawed man, as my wife will attest. And and I'm gonna f*** up. I'm gonna say the wrong thing. I'm gonna put my foot in my mouth. I'm gonna piss you off, probably, but I will always apologize and find my way back to center. That is one thing I can assure you of. And I'm sorry I made you feel that way. That must have felt terrible. And I will for sure do better. That was not my best weekend, and I should have given it more time. And damn right, you got great friends if that's how you felt and they knew that. And we should all have friends like that, aside from the fact that they're two of the most creative people on the planet. The three of you guys together is unbelievable. Talk about energy and just a force, all three of you.
As if the situation wasn't already messy enough, Blake Lively allegedly began plotting to have Justin Baldoni removed from the movie entirely. According to reports, she went behind his back to speak with Colleen Hoover, the author of It Ends With Us, about the possibility of making a sequel. There are even rumors circulating that this entire lawsuit is part of a larger scheme to tarnish Justin's reputation and push him out of the director's chair, which would open the door for Blake to take over the rights to create a prequel or sequel to the book. As many of you probably know, Justin owns all the movie rights to It Ends With Us, but if he's found guilty of serious allegations like workplace misconduct, those rights could revert to Sony and Colleen Hoover. This would make it much easier for Blake to step in and acquire the rights, adding another layer to the drama. Blake has claimed that Justin started a smear campaign against her, but she herself allegedly went to the New York Times with all the details of the lawsuit before it was officially filed, effectively planting a propaganda piece against him. This move has raised even more questions about her intentions and the true motivations behind the lawsuit.
I think we can talk about some things now that he has filed his complaint and his suit against the New York Times. Guys, my opinion stands is that I will not be making decisions or assumptions until we have gotten to the case, because what the heck is happening? So Blake Lively made some very specific allegations saying that Justin Baldoni had come to her trailer when she was topless, and Justin Baldoni had then has showed us the text messages where she asks him to come to her trailer, and he also shows how open she was to be breastfeeding in front of other cast and crew. And so this seemed like normal to him. First of all, I believe him there. And like I said in my last video, I've never been convinced of the slander campaign. I have always been convinced that that was organic, because it wasn't these fake or false articles. It was literally people showing footage of Blake Lively by herself. Like, it was just her own downfall. Justin has then showed the text to his PR team where he's like, this isn't us, right? Like, what is this? And they're like, no, this is just organic. Another big thing is that Justin Baldoni proved that in the New York Times article, they not only cherry-picked text messages, but they actually altered the text messages themselves, and he showed the originals versus what they posted, which is just like ridiculous. It's one thing to cherry pick. I feel like that's to be expected, especially when you feel like that maybe Ryan Reynolds and Blake Lively paid off a friend at the New York Times. I expected that, but to see them actually change it, I think is...
Blake Lively also claimed that Justin Baldoni made her feel uncomfortable while filming certain scenes, including a dance scene. However, when raw footage of the scene was released, it showed a different story. In the footage, Blake and Justin were actually seen talking and playfully flirting with each other, which contradicted Blake's earlier claims of discomfort. This has further fueled doubts about the validity of her allegations and raised questions about her narrative surrounding their interactions on set.
Let's score another.
I'm not getting beard on you today.
I'm probably getting spray tan on you.
It smells good.
Well, it's not bad. It's my body makeup.
Blake Lively claimed that there was no intimacy coordinator on set, and she felt uncomfortable while filming certain intimate scenes with Justin Baldoni. However, in a surprising twist, Blake herself admitted that she actually decided to take on the role of the intimacy coordinator for the show. This revelation raises further questions about the consistency of her story and whether her claims about feeling uncomfortable were as genuine as she's portrayed them to be. It seems there's a significant disconnect between what Blake has said and what she actually chose to do behind the scenes.
I want to be clear that you should not be the intimacy coordinator. You should definitely hire intimacy coordinators, which we did have. Well, thank goodness.
You were teaching Justin how to pull you in.
Where have you seen this?
I actually just saw it too. It was on Instagram yesterday, I think.
Yeah, I mean, I think that, romance is really important. You're supposed to, tell a story.
In his lawsuit, Justin Baldoni claimed that there was, in fact, an intimacy coordinator on set, but Blake Lively was the one who chose not to work with them. According to Justin, he was forced to meet with the intimacy coordinator alone and then relay any suggestions to Blake separately. Despite his reluctance, Justin and Blake would later sketch out the intimate scenes together without the intimacy coordinator, as part of their creative process to personalize their characters. They even engaged in deep conversations about their individual experiences as part of this process. Blake, however, allegedly insisted that Justin come to her penthouse to work on explicit scenes together, once again without the presence of the intimacy coordinator. If Blake truly felt uncomfortable working with Justin, it's hard to understand why she would invite him to her home to work on such intimate material without any professional support. At this point, it seems like Blake might be trying to avoid facing the consequences of her own actions. She's been criticized for promoting her hair care line and alcohol beverage line during the film's promotion, despite the fact that the movie deals with domestic violence, an issue closely tied to alcohol abuse. This has raised a lot of eyebrows. As for Blake and Ryan Reynolds, it's not looking great for them right now. With all the controversies surrounding Blake's actions, many people are questioning whether she can still come out on top. Is she digging herself a deeper hole with these stunts, or does she have some bigger strategy in mind? It remains to be seen, but it seems like things are only going to get messier from here. What do you think? Will Blake ultimately prevail, or is she losing ground? Let me know your thoughts, and don't miss out on the next juicy update.